Here we go. Woke up at 4:50 in the morning. It's currently 5:10 and I am going on my Antelope and Horseshoe hike. They should be picking me up in 10 minutes here, so I gotta hurry up and get across the casino and wait for them at the entrance. You want to talk about weird? How about being in Vegas and not seeing practically anybody? Everybody is sleeping right now. But I'm at the north entrance right now, where they said to pick up the north entrance, the tour bus pickup. They said it's the same as Uber, and there's the Uber pickup. It is currently 5:25. It was supposed to get here 5 minutes ago. They did say that the bus might run late, so hopefully that's just the case and I'm in the right location. Otherwise, I don't want to think about if this is not the right spot. This is the only exit and entrance on the north side of the building, so it's gotta be it. So fingers crossed here. So before we get started on our road trip, I want to give you guys a little bit of the logistics behind this trip. This was my last full day in Vegas, my last full day on vacation, and I decided to go all out and visit Antelope Canyon as well as Horseshoe Bend, as that was an area I've been wanting to visit ever since first going to Arizona. So this tour started at my Vegas hotel. I was staying at the Luxor, and pickup and drop off was included. Now, the price for this tour came out to $300. That's including the pickup and drop-off, admission into Antelope Canyon, as well as the Horseshoe Bend. It included lunch, and it included several water bottles. Now, a lot of people do like to say that's a very high price, but personally, for me, running the numbers, between the diesel I would have spent on the bus and between lunch and the admission, it was actually, I think, a very good price, and it was nice for me to actually just kind of sit back and go with the flow of things instead of having to plan every little detail out as I usually do. Now, this trip to go from Vegas to Antelope Canyon and Horseshoe Bend and back was a 15-hour trip, meaning that pickup was approximately between 5 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. and drop-off was around 8 p.m. at night. Now, one thing I like to note is that dinner is not included on this trip, so if you are looking into doing this tour, you gotta think about that a little bit and plan some snacks for throughout your day. Now, I also want to point out you should get some decent clothes. I wore just a t-shirt when I went there, and it was the end of November, beginning of December. When you get to the bottom of the canyon, it is pretty chilly inside, and I was pretty cold, so definitely make sure, I say wear a sweater at the very least. If it's too hot, you can take it off, tie it around your waist, but definitely bring something, because I did regret not bringing anything but my t-shirt. Now, another important factor about this is that no bags or GoPro equipment is allowed in Antelope Canyon, so I was not able to get pretty much any video, but I was able to get a lot of photos. So without further ado, let's dive into this 15-hour trip. So, to start this tour off, I want to introduce everyone to our tour guide, Kurt Osborne. Now, for those of you who have watched this channel for a while, you know that I am all about getting outside of your comfort zone. So I was pleasantly surprised to hear Kurt's story. Wheelie across America in 1999, Kurt became the first person to bike 2,800 miles while doing a wheelie all the way from California to Florida. He did it in honor of Evel Knievel, who
inspired him as a child. He simply wanted to set a record and raise awareness to hepatitis C. And in 2018, Kurt did it again, breaking his own record by 30 days. This time he did it to inspire children to get outside, as well as raise awareness and funds towards anti-bullying and suicide prevention.
Okay, so we made it to stop one, our Flying J gas station. I bought some fruit snacks and a bag of classic chips, and we're gonna get back on the road here. We still have about 3 hours.
Drought, so it's extremely low. However, it's a long river. It starts all the way at the Navajo Mountains, which is right near where we're going today. Goes through Zion National Park in an area where they call the Narrows, and then ultimately feeds into Lake Mead, which is where Hoover Dam is. River. It does supply a lot of water to the next city that we're going to be coming up to, called St. George, Utah. They rely on this river quite a bit.
Number 2, the border store. We are in Utah right now, and about 2 hours away or so from Page, Arizona.
On the left, you'll see Glen Canyon Dam, and on the right, you'll see the Colorado River about 1,000 feet down. Horseshoe Bend is 8 miles downriver from here. That dam was built in 1966. It produces electricity for 7 different states, I believe. Yeah, 7.
After several hours, we had finally arrived to Antelope Canyon. Since Antelope Canyon sits on the Navajo Reservation, you are only allowed to visit during a guided tour. And as I mentioned earlier, no backpacks, purses, or GoPro equipment is allowed. Some of the benefits to going on a guided tour, though, is that we got to learn about the history of the canyon, as well as how it is formed. Outside of this, our tour guide also stopped in several spots that were perfect for photo opportunities. Outside of this, I also took a moment to just simply sit down and do a self-meditation within the canyon. Horseshoe Bend turned out to be just as beautiful. I took 15 minutes while there to sit down and simply meditate.
I also climbed up a little bit off of the beaten path, which is allowed, and climbed up some rocks so I could sit on an edge and simply overlook all of Horseshoe Bend. If you've been debating about this trip, I guarantee you it is 100% worth it.
Living in a van and I can't complain. Ain't got much money, but I'm out of the rain. When the rent falls due, I throw a few bucks in the tank.